What's up, everybody? Sean the King here. I just want to start this off by saying I believe I have just watched the best True Blood finale ever. Yeah, ever. Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this review. As we all know, it's a bittersweet night. Today is tonight was the season finale for True Blood, episode 12. Save Yourself. Uh, and it delivered. It definitely, there were some gripes. I will say there were definitely some gripes, and there were some things that really made me angry. But the last 15-20 minutes of the episode, where we almost had like a vampire Mission Impossible kind of thing going on, definitely made up for everything else. So enough of that. Let's jump into this review slash recap and get discussing. All right, so basically the points I want to touch on that really pissed me off. The low moment of the episode had to have been Russell Edgington's untimely death. Yes, Russell Edgington is dead, and he is not coming back. Eric saw to that. Last we saw Russell, he had got hopped up on fairy power, and he was already a 3,000-year-old vampire, and was proceeding to kill a whole room full of fairies. What happens next is he's being distracted by the fairy blast. Eric was able to sneak up on him and essentially rip his heart out, and essentially just killing him on the spot. So the last episode, he was in it for all of 2 minutes, and to me, I wasn't really feeling that, because again, you build Russell Edgington up to be this super big bad, and then you just take him out like a drop of a hat. Not really feeling that. I could have totally saw another scenario happening, and I'll mention it towards the end of the video, that probably would have served better justice. Then Sookie runs out, goes to her brother. I guess something, the fairy blast that hit him gave him, I don't know what to call it. It's been in another show before. Oh yes, if you ever watched Vampire Diaries, Elena's brother has the ability to see ghosts. And apparently that's the ability that Jason now has. He can, well, I don't know if he can see all ghosts, but he can see his parents. I don't know how expanded that's going to be. We'll probably hear about that more next season. But apparently he can see his mom and dad now, and they're like kind of directing him, and he's gone in full anti-vamp mode, meaning that he hates vampires completely, even Jessica. I mean, whatever little feelings they had for each other has now gone, and Jason has turned. I mean, he's not like crazy like the Obamas kind of anti-vampire, but I think he is pretty much done with vampires. He has like a higher calling right now. They meet up with Eric, and they decide that they're going to have an all out assault on the vampire base and the authority base to try and rescue Bill and Salome from the Lilith blood. On the other side of the woods, we have Alcide's story that got wrapped up. Alcide and his dad were still out on exile, and come to find out, the newest pack master was still feeding blood and forcing it to all the other wolves, and his girlfriend, or the girl he was messing with at the time, she ended up ingesting a lot of that blood and is going through like a kind of like an OD moment, I guess you want to call it. So I'll see again. They basically wrap that story up nicely, and again, that last kind of battle too was a little bit anticlimactic, if you ask me, because literally, essentially, what happens is he decides to take vampire blood. They never explain whose blood it is that he was taking, because his dad said it was like top-notch blood, not just regular vampire blood. They never really explain whose blood it is. Maybe we'll find out next season. Most likely we won't. But again, Alcide pretty much shows up, and within less than a minute, I'd say, the Packmaster guy was dead. He literally grabbed him, threw him to the ground, punched him in the face about 10 to 15 times, and broke his neck, and then declared that they're not going to be doing that stuff anymore. And his storyline kind of just fell flat. Again, I wasn't too excited about the Wolf storyline this season. Again, I've never been excited about the Wolf storyline, mainly because, again, I hate the way they do wolves in this show. I feel like if you're going to do a werewolf, you need to do it properly, and those are not werewolves. Those are wolf dogs, plain and simple. They're intimidating to a human, but I mean, to me, that's not any competition for actual werewolf. I mean, for a vampire. If you're going to be a werewolf, you need to be like the kind that you see on Underworld, or at the very least, at least be like the ones they show in the new Teen Wolf TV series on MTV. At the very least, those are something that I would be more, okay with. But anyway, storyline's over with. That's done. Then we'll move on to Andy Belfleur. Andy is a daddy now. Can you believe it? He is the proud papa of 4 fairy daughters. Yeah. His girlfriend shows up, the one that he had sex with earlier in the season, or maybe it was last season. I know he had sex with her this season. I believe he had sex with her last season too. And she shows up at the bar and downs a whole container of salt and proceeds to have an orgasm to rival all orgasms ever heard on TV or otherwise. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women out there that would love to have babies like that, and yeah. So she's a great actress. I'll put it to you like that, because just, her going through the motions, had the leg up in the air, and yeah. Anyway, so she has 4 babies. And she proceeds to just leave Andy with the kids and say, well, you know what, my obligation is done. I bore your kids. Peace! So she pieces out. Now Andy has 4 daughters and a girlfriend. And the girlfriend has 2 sons of her own. So, yeah, that's a little special. Maybe the storyline to get fleshed out. Maybe to get a little bit more interesting. I don't know if the daughters are going to grow quickly or how that's going to work. It'll be interesting to see. And it was kind of funny how she said, your job is to make sure at least half of them survive. Lafayette gets his little cameo, making his little margarita drinks. And Lafayette is always such a fun character. Just to see him in his little quips and the things he says, it's just hilarious. So Lafayette is awesome, and I love that guy. He's fantastic. Even his little moment that he got to shine definitely stood up for me. Let's move on to the big agenda, the Authority. The Authority, oh, you know what? There were 2 True Blood moments for me. I'm going to pause here. 2 True Blood moments for me this episode. And first, I'm going to give my True Blood moment to Sam Merlot. Okay? Sam Merlot, True Blood moment of the week. Let me tell you how much of a badass Sam is. So Sam gets taken to Bill, and Bill's like, I'm about to get rid of you. And Sam turns into a fly, flies away. So it's, again, like I said, this is the first time we've been able to see Sam go through his whole shifting abilities and see what he can really do, and how awesome it is to be a shifter. So again, like I said, we all think, being vampires, werewolves, that's cool. Being a shifter is awesome too if you know what you're doing. So he, not only was he able to escape from his handcuffs, he was able to get away from Bill, who all of a sudden started running all over the walls and looking like some sort of crazy cat after he's just gotten some sort of surgery, and you let him loose and he just goes shit crazy. But I use that analogy because it's actually happening to me. We got our cat spayed, and we let him out of the box, and he went ape shit, started running all over the house. But that's a story for another day. So anyway, Sam is flying all over the Authority, getting his spy on, and he finally gets to his girlfriend, tells her, look, I have a plan. We're going to get you out of here, because remember, she has that ability now where she can transform into anybody. So she transforms into Steve Newland, gets her daughter out, and then they proceed to leave. So they're leaving, and right before they are able to get out, the last living member of the Authority, she shows up, and she's like, look, you gotta do some damage control. That video leaked from you guys of you doing all that crap and killing all them people. So she goes live, and she's on live TV, and she shifts back to normal on live TV. So not only does the world now know that vampires exist, now they know it's some sort of shifting thing that can turn into anything. So yeah. Now again, what I suspect is going to happen with that next season, to try to make that whole Russell Edgington, Steve Newland thing go away, I'm going to think someone's going to say they were imposters the entire time, and that Steve Newland and Russell Edgington had nothing to do with it. It was those shifters or whoever they were. So I think that's how they're going to try to take care of that situation. So we'll see how that goes. But again, so like I said, back to my True Blood moment of the week. Sam Merlot, she shifts back. The woman gets ready to kill her. Sam flies into her mouth and shifts back to normal, exploding her from the fucking inside. Oh my god. I thought, like, when he flew in her mouth, I was like, no, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. You know, there's no way he's gonna boom. I'm like, oh my god, he really just did that. I literally had to pause my DVR, rewind it back, and watch it again because it was so fucking epic. I was like, Sam Merlot for the win. It's about time people started using their heads in that show. And again, I'm just like, what would you, again, like I said, shifters are essentially still animals or whatever the case may be. So I'm just like, against a vampire, what are you going to really do? But for him to be that ingenious and go in and do that, Sam Merlot for the mother effing win. Okay, so that's over with. True Blood moment number 2. We have Eric and his sister. Once they breach the authority, Jason turns into a mixture between Jason Bourne and what's his name? Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible. He even has the Mission Impossible glasses on, and Jason just comes running in and he shoots the front desk girl, who was very annoying. I was really hyped to see her die because all them fucking questions she was asking, I'm like, look, chick, you was a receptionist. Don't ask me shit about my accent. Just shut the hell up and leave me alone. Excuse me, leave me alone. So that was that. Jason comes in, shoots her in the head. A bunch of other guards come in. He's shooting them left and right. It was just awesome. So, you know, Tara, again, like I said, I really am. And oh yeah, who saw that coming? Who? Let's take a pause right quick. Who saw that coming? Like, I knew it, but I didn't know it. Like, I knew that Tara cared a lot for Pam, and I understood that, you know, Pam really enjoyed the fact that Tara really cared for her. But like, isn't there like some sort of unspoken vampire rule that you don't sleep with the ones you create? I don't know. That seems kind of weird. It's almost like having sex with your mother. But then again, I mean, how many times have you seen a lesbian vampire who sired you? Yeah. But again, you know, Eric had sex with his sister, so I guess Tara getting it on with her mother isn't that bad either. True Blood. So again, that was actually kind of awesome. Again, like I just love that connection they have. Like, they're looking out for each other. It's clear that Tara, and like I said, it's clear that Tara's a badass as far as the vampire goes, and she's not even that old. Because I love the little message, the little sign she put on where she was like, this thing is not indestructible. She's like, I'm young and I can break this thing. So like, it was just kind of like just her acknowledging her own powers is just kind of cool. And it still looks like she still hates Sookie. So sorry, Sook. All right, now I can get to my other True Blood moment. Eric and his sister perched on top the authority room, the main room where they used to meet, and all these guards start pouring in, and they got their guns drawn, and like they're as quiet as mice. And literally, when the moment comes up, Eric in like 10 seconds takes out like 4 or 5 guards with like these, like, I guess they were like wooden stakes, and he's just like rapid fire, like killing these guys. And you know, his sister joins in, and they're doing the same thing. Like, it was magic. It was magic. Like, just the level of violence and just the number of vampire deaths this season has been ratcheted up, and it was awesome. Like, I love it. I love it. You know, there's nothing more that I like than drama, than violence, and this episode had everything that I needed in that department. The last one of the things I want to talk about is what happened with Bill. I did not see that coming. And I knew that Salome, I knew he was trying to trick her because, again, he realized, again, Bill is very intelligent. And the problem is, when you're an old vampire, you get to that point where you don't think anything can hurt you, so you don't even think about threats. And Bill had a really good point when he said that. He was like, she's so narcissistic, she would have never thought that I would do that. Because, again, Bill even told her, look, this other dude said that Lilith came to him and he told him that he was number one, so I killed him. So right then and there, she should have never trusted anything Bill said, but he hid it so well by telling her, "Oh, Salome, by the way, she told me that you were the chosen one, and I'm going to be your servant." So she was like, "Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad Liv told you that. Great. So let's have sex, and then I'm going to go drink the blood." So she drinks the blood, and it's laced with shitloads amounts of silver, and she's pretty much done for. She's done for. So, Bill pulls the old switcheroo on her, and he gives her a true death, and she's dead as well. So, again, they cleaned up the entire Authority in one season, so we know for a fact the Authority will have nothing to do with next season. But that doesn't matter, because what happens at the end of the episode? Wow. Okay, so Sookie and Eric finally arrive just as Bill finishes off Salome, and, Sookie tries her whole, "I'm going to talk you into this, and you shouldn't be doing this." And again, at this point, I'm like, "Sook, look, I know you feel like you have this power over Eric, and he's irrational, but I'm like, there's nothing worse than a religious nut that, again, not saying I got anything against any religious people, but I'll just say religious vampire. I'll put it like this so nobody can try to send me all these hate messages. But when someone believes something so strongly, even if a person that's rational comes up to them and tries to explain it away, they're not gonna listen to you. So I'm like, as Sookie's trying to talk him down, I'm thinking to myself, Eric, just run up on his ass and either smash the glass or punch him in the mouth or something. Somebody do something before he tries to down that shit. And it was making me mad. I'm just like, somebody do something. Stop talking. Stop talking. Because even a moment where he was distracted for a second, I'm like, there's a chance to do something. And I'm like, at the very least, Sookie should have used a little bit of whatever fairy power she had left to blast him, or even if her powers were low, at the very least distract him enough so that Eric can swoop in and grab the glass jar. But no, that doesn't happen. Bill downs the vial of blood and literally turns into a gelatinous bloody mess and plops on the floor. Now, of course, watching him quote unquote die, I knew it wasn't. Come on. There's no way you're gonna kill Bill. To borrow a Quentin Tarantino movie line. So we knew Bill wasn't dead, and of course he reconfigures just like Lilith did when she came from the blood, and he reforms, and he looks like some sort of crazy Carrie movie badass, and he's just like pulls his fangs out, and all Eric can say is run, and that's where they leave us off. I was so upset because now we have to wait till next summer for True Blood to come back, and it is so sad. But yeah, that episode was awesome. I am in such awe of these writers. They did such a fantastic job closing up old storylines and then not giving us another 15 to have to go through next season. I was so glad they did that. Again, but you know what it is. It's time for us to do this discussion. What I want to ask you guys is, number one, I kind of want to know what was your favorite True Blood moment of season 5? What was your worst True Blood moment from season 5? And also, what do you want to see happen next season? And do you want to see them introduce anything new, or do you want them to bring back a character? I just want to know what you guys thought about the season overall. Definitely. Oh, I forgot what I said from early in the video. The way that I wish they would have handled Russell Edgington. I would have liked to have seen Russell make it through that situation with the fairies. Maybe, the fairies gather all their power for that one last blast and put him down for the count. Maybe he's knocked unconscious or whatever the case may be. And eventually what happens is, right as Bill is taking that vial, Russell Edgington bursts in and, it tries to attack Bill or whatever the case may be. And to see Bill take him out like he was nothing, then that to me would show Bill's evolution from regular vampire to Lilith's male god or whatever apparently he is now. Just to see, to show everybody, this is what you guys got to deal with next season. He killed Russell Edgington like it was nothing. That's what I would like to have seen versus Eric killing him. And again, I understand because Eric had such a history with Russell Edgington. That's why it was only fair for him to kill him. But I just felt like the way that it happened and how early it happened just didn't do it for me. I would have liked to have seen someone, I guess, who's going to be taking the mantle as the next big bad, as you would want to call it, you know, just to be the one who did that. But again, you know, now's that time. Again, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed my videos, and definitely stay subscribed because, again, I will be reviewing other shows that are on more of the adult nature. I'm definitely going to be reviewing The Walking Dead when it starts back up. I might actually even be reviewing the American Horror Story from FX. That's also another fantastic show. You guys want to check it out. And again, if there's any show in particular, because again, I watch so many shows, if there's anything in particular you guys want me to check out and wanted to do reviews on, let me know in the comment section below. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this True Blood season finale as much as I did. This is Showing Up the King, and you guys have a fantastic night.